Hey there, viewers! A Transformers fan or Charlie Young back again with another Transformers review. And today's review is going to be on Thrilling 30 Scoop. Yep, Thrilling 30, aka the toy line that was meant to commemorate the 30th anniversary of Transformers. And now we're past the 40th anniversary. Holy crap, time flies. But anyway, so yeah, Thrilling 30 was meant to essentially be like a whole Generations line. You know, like we got some Beast Wars in there, we got a bit of Armada with Starscream, a lot of G1 of course, but in all that, we got Scoop, who back in G1 was just one of the, like, post-movie characters. So, why is he here? Well, I think it's because this guy's kind of a major player in some of the IDW comics. I'll explain that later, but first of all, let's look at the box. So, of course, this being one of the, like, Thrilling 30 figures, you know, 2014, well, he comes on a card back. I think it was, like, Siege when they finally moved to full-on boxes for deluxes. So we can see, yeah, Transformers Generations, and it actually says comic book included, which we'll get to very soon. That's why we've got this huge empty bit here. Got Scoop here in vehicle mode. Autobot Scoop, Thrilling 30, and yeah, this was 2014. Here's an Autobot. Got a picture of Scoop here. Autobot symbol, this is Series 2. Number 14 in Series 2. Sign, not really much else to say. The back, of course, we've got them in both modes. Got his two Target Master partners, and they do combine them from a weapon. We've got a bio, which we don't get anymore, which I would very much like to see bios return so we can find out about like characters. We got a tech spec. So we got that. Pretty high courage, so that's cool. Something else we don't really get anymore. We get like plugs for the website, Facebook, which this is before like Facebook was full of AI crap. YouTube, which of course Transformers still has a huge presence on YouTube because we've got the Cyberworld show there. And IDW, which no longer makes Transformers comics. That goes to Skybound now. And underneath, we got a cross-sell. So we got Full Cybertron Skywarp and Armada Starscream. And I kind of wish that we'd still get this. You know, maybe at the bottom of, like, Age of the Primes boxes, we get, like, also available, like, Cronus and freaking Venom. You know, just to let kids know that, like, there's more in the range. I don't know. And it says distributed in Australia, so I guess this is the Australian release, okay? I go to, like, modern retail price from eBay, so... Oh, and there's something else we don't get anymore, the Collector's Club, which... I mean, was cool, but it did kind of fumble the bag quite a bit with some things, so... But I think I am going to keep this box. So let's not throw this off the table. And let's move on to the next thing, which... We get a comic book! And it's not like with, like, Skybound Jetfire. Because this was a freaking retail figure. So, back, like, what? 12 years ago? Figures just came with comic books. Like, you just got a free comic. So, we got Scoop's comic here. And, yeah, pretty standard, like, romp. Not really gonna go through it. Like, here's some random pages. Like, got this one here. We've got Swerve, pretty popular character, and I'm pretty sure. Got Ronimus, got Magnus. Let's try to find a page with Scoop himself on it. Oh, I've got Cyclonus. That's a really popular character in IDW. And I think this is meant to be Scoop with the shades. I have no idea why he's behind bars, because keep in mind, I don't really read the IDW series that much, so yeah. But anyway, let's finally move on to the figure. And yeah, the toy itself is pretty much just like a full-on update to the G1 figure. Like, it's not based on IDW Scoop, because I think when people think of IDW Scoop, they think of the Constructicons, because, of course, he was pretty much a Constructicon in IDW. I'm pretty sure he was a replacement for Scrapper. Like, spoilers for, like, a comic from a couple of years ago, but I think he went on to replace Scrapper and, like, Devastator, but I think this toy came up before that, but this figure is essentially just a modern update. I say modern, this is like 10 years ago, but still, this still does kind of pass for like a modern generation's figure, because, I mean, we haven't seen a new Scoop since. Maybe they retool Studio Series Scrapper, I don't know. But yeah, I do like how this looks. So of course we've got the wheels here. It does help them to roll really well. That rolls extremely well. But of course we've got the bucket here. Which looks really nice. Sort of hard to have it facing up though, because if you have it facing down, then yeah. I guess you could have it like this, but that's kind of awkward, so yeah, it's best to just have it like this. But anyway, we've got some ladder detailing right here. We do have some ports here, and that's to plug in the Target Masters. Some more ports here. Got the cab, which you can kind of see his face right there, which is kind of funny. So, yeah. Kind of awkward, though, but still kind of funny. And, well, the bottom we can just see his chest. So, yeah. Not really much else to say here, so let's move on to the Target Masters. So we've got Holepunch here in blue. Oh, I realize the arms aren't fully tabbed in correctly. There we go. So here we have Holepunch in blue. It's just a double barrel gun. And here we have Caliburst. Or in the G1 toy line, Tracer, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm fairly certain this guy was called Tracer in the G1 line. I'm not sure if it was Overwatch that made him change the name, or if that game came out later. But yeah, they had to change the name to Caliburst, which I'm fairly certain is another Target Master, so that's probably gonna get confusing. But yeah, Holepunch and Caliburst, or Tracer. And compared to the modern attempts at double Target Masters from like Legacy and Age of the Primes, these are not one-to-one recreations. Like, if I take G1 Holepunch, for example, it's not a one-to-one recreation. Like, so yeah. Like, there's some actual transformation involved. So, like, the arms actually fold up, which is pretty cool. But anyway, these can plug in. Like, we do have some ports here. We've got some ports here on the side, on the back here, on the top. Now, on the G1 figure, I know we just plugged them onto, like, the sides here, but there was, like, seriously zero clearance here. So I don't think that's a good option for vehicle mode. Come on. So you could do that, although, yeah, it messes with the wheel clearance. You could plug it into here. And this is kind of, these are kind of like, not loose per se, but they're very easy to move around. But yeah, I'm trying to plug this in. It kind of messes with the wheel, unfortunately. So that's kind of a design flaw, unfortunately, and I think here's them pointing up. So I find the best way to do this is to plug them onto the back bit here, but plug them in backwards. That's the only way I find like plugging these in to be good. That way they're not in the way and can still plug them on. I mean, yeah, they are facing backwards, but I mean, who knows? Maybe the Decepticon's like trailing him or something. Because then you can like point these up and then shoot. I don't know. So, yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say about the vehicle mode. So let's quickly put him next to G1 Scoop. Because yeah, I do have all of the Autobot Double Target Masters. And keep in mind, we're still waiting for a new Quickmix and Landfill. Maybe one day, hopefully. I mean, if we can get a new Joyride, for God's sakes, according to listings, then hopefully one day. I mean, we're getting a new Sure Shot. But anyway. Yeah, like there are some differences, like the color of the bucket is now orange compared to the yellow. And the shape's kind of changed. But still, pretty, like, similar. Like, really, the main difference here is the bucket shape and the color. I don't know why I changed from orange to, well, like, from yellow to orange, but I think I kind of prefer the orange. It just makes it look more cohesive. And yeah, comparing Holepunch, I unfortunately don't have a G1 Tracer. Yeah, they're pretty similar too. And yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say about the vehicle mode. So let's move on to the transformation. And normally I don't show transformations on camera, but come on, this is a G1 toy. Like, just to remind you how the G1 toy transforms, you essentially just move the arms, the fists out. The legs were just one huge bit of plastic. So you just move them down. And on the G1 toy, the whole like scoop system and the cab here were different parts. And there you go. That was G1 Scoop. But what about like feeling fatty here? Well, if we just come on. These can be a bit tricky to try and get off. For Feeling Fatty Scoop, the transformation's kind of similar, but there are some differences. Namely, the legs transform in a similar way, but the front half is a lot different. So, start, I'm just going to take the back half here, and tap that, flip this out, get the feet and flip them down, like so. Come here to the arms, and tap them. Lift up the whole bucket here. You can see that the shoulders tap into these bits here. So we're just going to untap them. Move these out. Move down this entire torso section here. This whole cab section is just going to move down, double hinge down, and the entire bucket system is just going to hinge like so. You can see the shoulders are on these like hinges here, so we just move them down, fold up the chest, get the hands out. One. There we go. Split the legs. And just before I say that's it for the robot mode, one complaint. There's not really a stopping mechanism for the shoulders, so they can just continue moving around, which is kind of annoying. So yeah, that's kind of a huge pain, but oh well. But anyway, That's pretty much Scoop in robot mode. And yeah, that transformation is kind of fiddly. Namely trying to get, like, the shoulders transformed. But I still think it's fun. And the resulting robot mode is... Well, I mean, it's Scoop. For all the Scoop fans out there, which... Well, seeing how he's quite a major player in, like, later... he's a major player in later IDW stories, if I can fully speak, so... I'm sure there's a couple of Scoop fans, but... Yeah, this guy does look pretty cool. Just like an orange scrapper. I mean, 360, you can... Yeah, that's a lot of back kibble right there. But to be fair, the G1 toy also had that. It's just... Honestly, it's kind of a lot cleaner back in the G1. They did do a better job with the legs in this one, because they're no longer just a huge hollow block. And the head, well, we can see that, yep, this was the age of light piping, so we can kind of see, yeah, can't really see, but he does have light piping, which is really cool. So yeah, and of course we can give him his partners. So what we can do is just plug them into his hands, like so. Again, easier said than done, but can't do that, like so. Or, because of course this was the double target master thing, okay, and take one out, open up the arms of one of them. And then this will just plug in. Yeah, there's a little port here that goes into here. There we go. And that leaves, well, that leaves the other hand open for other guns. Like, I don't know, G1 hole punch, maybe. There you go. So, yeah. I mean, granted, it's a bit more complicated than just slapping them on top of each other, but still, it works. So, yeah. Alright, now that we've looked in... Well, seeing how we're taking a look at the gun modes, how about we finally look at these two in robot mode? So, for Holepunch... Oh, Scoop just fell over. But for Holepunch, well... We've pretty much already done most of the transformation. So the transformation is pretty much split up the... Well, split up the arms. Take this little orange bin, just fold that back. Just move the gun turrets down. And there you go. Do the same with Caliburst here. These are in a lot tighter. There we go. So here we have them in robot mode. And for a quick comparison, there's G1 Holepunch. There you go, that's a lot quicker. But yeah, these two do look pretty cool. Like, I'm not sure if these are meant to be like Nebulans or small robots. But yeah, they do look pretty cool. Plus, putting Holepunch next to his G1 counterpart, this guy actually does have articulation compared to this guy, where it's just nothing. Because he can actually move his arms. And there's a bit of a butterfly joint. So yeah. Because, you know, if they had released Scoop nowadays in, like, Age of the Primes, Holepunch would have just been a full-on recreation of this figure. So, yeah. And speaking of comparisons, here's Scoop with G1 Scoop. And there we go. And yeah, they do look pretty similar, although again, just like with the bucket, the head's changed from yellow to orange, which, again, I think kind of looks better. I don't know, it looks more cohesive. Plus, this might just be my eyes, but the bright yellow on the G1 figures we changed to a more cream color. Like, hang on. Yeah, the yellow seems to have changed to a more creamish color on the Generations figure, which kind of looks a bit nicer, to be honest. So, yeah. So, honestly, I think the Generations figure looks nicer, which I guess isn't really too fair, because this is a G1 toy, you know? It's not really meant for... Like, this toy is not meant for articulation. It's meant to, like, just be played with, you know? Like, it's got ratchet joints and all that. But, still. But, honestly, I do think that this guy looks really cool. And I guess, well, speaking of articulation, let's move on to that. So we've already talked about the articulation for these guys, where it's just... Yeah, it's just the arms. But for Scoop himself, well, the head can go side to side. Kind of nod. Arms, this is kind of annoying, because I'm sure you remember me mentioning the shoulders here, while trying to move the arms. You know, more likely going to end up moving the shoulder bits instead, which is kind of annoying. But if you can manage, the arms can move. Ah, for fuck's sake. But anyway, he's kind of T-pose. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is a case of trigger happy shoulders before trigger happy was a thing. Or 10 to 10 trigger happy. But anyway, of course, he's got elbows. Does he have bicep rotation? Yeah, he does. Bicep rotation. Waist rotation. He can kick forward, kick back. Knees about that far. So there. He has got pretty good splits. Foot can go up, but of course, this was before ankle tilts were a main thing. So, yeah. So that's pretty much all I've got to say about this guy. So, complaints. My main complaint is absolutely the shoulders. Just trying to move them often moves the entire assembly around, which is kind of annoying. If there was like a little like way for them to like, I don't know, clip into something like the chest, then I feel like it would be a lot better. I'm sure if they did like a modern scoop, I don't know, maybe from Studio Series Scrapper, I don't know. I mean, hell, I'm pretty sure they were going to be doing a Combiner Wars scoop for the Collectors Club, if I remember correctly. So, But, yeah, that's my biggest complaint. Like, a small one is the head showing in the vehicle mode, but that's minor, because, But yeah, my biggest complaint, the shoulders. It's really annoying. But still, would I recommend tracking one down? I mean, if you really like the character, then sure, why not? I mean, as I have said, he is quite the character in the IDW series. Pretty sure he replaces Scrapper as a part of Devastator, so maybe they could get away with, like, repainting the Studio Series one into him, as I've said before. I don't know, I don't see that happening, so this could be our only, like, Generation scoop ever. I don't know. I could be proven wrong. They could do an Age of the Primes one, or whatever future toy line there is, but for now, as of recording, this is our only Generation scoop. And I think they did a pretty decent job of him. I do like him. But the shoulders are really annoying. But still, if you really want him, yeah, I recommend him. He is pretty cool. I just wish we'd also get Landfill and Quickmix. Come on. Please. We've already gotten the freaking Decepticon double target masters now, so please, Hasbro. But, well, this has been my review on Filling 30 Scoop with Holepunch and Caliburst. And this is a Transformers fan signing off.